Level 1. Bench guys who don't play a lot, maybe situationally because of injuries, but not often. But a lot of the time, they're the fan favorites for certain reasons. Of course, we gotta start the video off with Bronny James. Bronny James gotta be the most loved player in the NBA who doesn't play. He averages 1.5 points, 0.4 rebounds, 1.1 assists. He shoots 33% from the field. But you'll get Laker fans who call him completely untouchable. And the thing is, Bronny's got a massive fan base. I'll scroll TikTok sometimes and come across videos where, actually, I'll just show you.
This is every single Bronny highlight from his game tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. He started off by showing off his vertical and gets his beautiful big Bronny board. He stays with the play and look what happens. He ends up getting a beautiful rebound off the make. He gets that ball right out of the net and then does a perfect baseline inbounds pass.
Beautiful rebound off the make is actually crazy, but I respect it. And I think a lot of us want to see Bronny be great. It'd be a great story. But after him, we got Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Thanasis is currently on the Bucks with his brother. He's another guy who doesn't really play. 1.7 points, half a rebound, a tenth of an assist. But I feel like Thanasis just got to be one of the most likable dudes in the NBA. He's on the bench, always getting the squad hyped. I saw a post. It said, "I want an honest opinion about Thanasis." First response, "Don't speak ill of our guy Thanasty. I didn't Blue Devil Spider-Man. Chill out." But after that, we got another response that said, "He's only on the roster for Giannis, but he's also not even the worst player on our team. Robin Lopez is." Whoa. Alright, man. I'm gonna need you to apologize right now. Don't speak down on top 1,789 NBA player of all time, Robin Lopez. This guy Hook was unstoppable. Anyways, after him, let's talk about Tidjane Salaun. Salaun was picked 6 overall just 2 years ago. Kinda crazy. And he hasn't really panned out yet, averaging 6, 4, and 1. He is efficient though, 49% from the field, 41% from 3. In comparison, Devin Booker shoots 45% from the field and 30% from 3. So is Tidjane Salaun better than Devin Booker nowadays? I don't know, I'm just a messenger. But for real, Salaun has been getting a little better, although he's not what Hornet fans were hoping for yet. But shout out to him, he's got time. But then we could talk about another guy, Trey Jemison. Trey Jemison is on the Knicks right now. He averages 1 point, 2 rebounds, 0.2 assists, but the guy shoots 100% from the field. The guy's never missed. Why doesn't he just play 48 minutes every game and just chuck? I don't know. But the real reason I brought up Trey Jemison, the guy literally looks just like Mike Brown. You can't tell me he doesn't. They're deadass the same person, just 30 years different age-wise. Wild. Anyways, last guy on here, I actually want to go back to the Lakers just because I found something funny. Nick Smith Jr. So Nick Smith Jr., guard for the Lakers, 6'2", averages 6, 1, and 1. Then you look up the Lakers depth chart. The guy's listed as the 4th string point guard, 5th string shooting guard, and 5th string small forward. They got my guy out here playing every position. And he's the 6th string power forward too. And he's the backup quarterback for the Rams. Anyways, that's level 1. Now we got level 2. Backups. Great players who come off the bench. This is basically going to include a lot of guys in the 6th Man of the Year race. And first up, who else would it be? We got Naz Reid. This guy is so loved in Minnesota, they literally tattoo his name on people. It's like a cult. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if a Minnesotan came out and said there was a Naz Reid cult. A whole stadium holding up Naz Reid towels. Cult activities. That reminds me of when Minnesota held up my name on towels too. Good times. But Naz Reid this season, he averages 15, 6, and 2. You sit Gobert, you got Naz Reid. You sit Julius Randle, you got Naz Reid. You can always play 2 of Naz Reid, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert. And that's why the Wolves are so elite, because they got an elite bench player like Naz Reid. But then we could talk about Isaiah Stewart. I feel like Naz Reid and Isaiah Stewart are kind of similar. The way Naz Reid comes in and dominates offensively, Isaiah Stewart is going to do the same on defense. Remember when Isaiah Stewart chased LeBron like he just punched his grandma? That's the kind of intensity Isaiah Stewart brings to the table. Isaiah Stewart averages 10, 6, and 1, but he's way better when you look at the advanced defensive numbers. and he's genuinely always getting into it with the other team. But honestly, you need that intensity if you're gonna win games in the NBA, because if you don't play with intensity, it can get ugly at certain points. Sorry, Knicks and Cavs fans. But actually, if we're gonna talk about elite backups, Deuce McBride has to be mentioned in this. What the hell happened to Deuce McBride? When did he become the second coming of Kobe Bryant? You look at his numbers and he's only averaging 13, 3, and 3. Until you look at his January stats and he's averaging 16 on 45, 42 splits. But oh my gosh, Knicks fans, I'm just sorry. Wasting elite Deuce McBride performances. But yeah, McBride has taken a huge step. But the question everyone wants to know, who's the better McBride? Trey or Deuce? Or Uno? Let me know. But after him, we got Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson is the current favorite for Sixth Man of the Year. Keldon Johnson was once seen as the face of the Spurs, the guy of their future. Then that 7-foot monster came along, the guy who has potential to be the GOAT. Then they gave him the keys. But Keldon Johnson's currently averaging 14, 6, and 1. But the guy shoots 56% from the field. How is that even possible? He's 6'5", and it's not like he's not shooting threes. The guy's shooting 42% from deep. Are we all in agreement Keldon Johnson is top 5 all time? He could be. But after him, we got to go to Reed Sheppard. Reed Sheppard has been huge for the Rockets this year. It's weird because he didn't touch the court in his rookie year last year. But now he's playing 25 minutes per game for the Rockets. The guy was a redshirt NBA player. He's averaging 13, 3, and 3 on 44% from the field. Wasn't that literally just Deuce McBride's stats? They average the exact same thing. Plus, they look alike too. But Reed Sheppard has been a really nice addition for the Rockets since they got him. It helps he gets to play a lot because Fred VanVleet got hurt. Plus, the Rockets literally don't have a point guard in their starting lineup. Sengun is basically their point guard. And I don't know if you guys heard this or not. The new mayor of New York, he's going to be forcing every kindergarten through 12th grader to watch Reed Sheppard highlights during the school day. You guys have any thoughts on this? But last up in this category, we got to talk about Anfernee Simons. He's averaging 14, 2, and 3 on 44% from the field. If he averaged 0.7 less points and 0.1 more rebound, he'd have the famous Deuce Sheppard stats. But he doesn't because he's too much of an elite scorer. But Simons comes off the bench for the Celtics. There was a lot of time in Portland where a lot of us thought he was going to be the next superstar in the NBA. Well, I did at least. But my stocks fell a little, but I'm holding Simons. Don't do me wrong. But the other day, the Celtics fan put out a poll. What's the best move for the Celtics regarding Anfernee Simons? Play out the season, trade him, or extend him. And most people said play out the season. But one of the replies said, there's only one correct answer here. Whatever Brad decides to do. We're all idiots compared to him. Alright, man. Chill. This is some textbook, you know what, worst I've ever seen. I'd seen Knicks fans compare their GM to that unnamed guy from Germany in the 30s. And the Celtics fans are saying this. Insane. But I do want to say something really quickly. If you want to subscribe, then subscribe. But if you don't want to subscribe, then subscribe. And this isn't an option. You have to. Thank you so much. But for real, if you guys do want to subscribe, it's truly the only thing that tells me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you so much. Anyways, that brings us to level 3. Filler starters. Guys who start to fill a specific role, but can also be great backups if needed. And for this one, we're going to start off with Duncan Robinson. The Pistons got 358 times better this season, and someone new they integrated into the starting lineup, Duncan Robinson. The guy's an absolute sniper. You look at his numbers and it's nothing great. 12, 3, and 2 on 44% from the field. By the way, if one more person shoots 44% from the field, I will myself. But after him, we can talk about Moses Moody. I feel like the Warriors have a different starting lineup every game. But Moses Moody has started 30 of the 41 games that they played this season. He's averaging 11, 3, and 2 on 42% from the field. But just give the words Moses Moody a quick little Google search and see what comes up. Exhibit A. Can we talk about Moody? Everyone shits on Pods, but Moody has been playing absolute garbage too. He's not a ball handler, but is still a massive turnover machine. Okay, now Exhibit B. Moody appreciation post. Assertive on both sides of the ball. If he can work a bit on getting around his defender with the ball, he'd be solid. Warrior fans, make up your mind, dude. But after him, I want to talk about Chris Dunn. You know what? Shout out to Chris Dunn. That's all I really want to say. The guy was picked at like the top of the draft. Then he looked like a complete bust. And now he's a defensive demon on a pretty solid team. You look at his numbers and you would never say, yeah, this guy's an important player. 8, 3, and 3 on 49% from the field. But this guy who averages these stats, these very stats right here, he averages 27 minutes per game. He starts next to James Harden. And the reason, it's because he's elite defensively. Looking at this top 5 though, why the hell did the Suns take Dragon Bender? Also, wow, former future GOAT Benjamin Simmons. Shout out to him. But after him, we can talk about Sam Hauser. Sam Hauser has been starting recently, and honestly, it's for a pretty good reason. The other day, Sam Hauser played 30 minutes. He had 30 points, he had 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and he shot 10 for 21 from the field, 47%, pretty solid. But looking at his field goals, what do you think he shot from 3? 10 for 21 from the field, so I'll give you a minute to guess. Well, if you said 10 for 21 from 3, congrats, you win. Insane. Brad Stevens must really be smarter than all of us, huh? But then I want to talk about another player next, Saddiq Bey. Honestly, there's days where I feel like Saddiq Bey should be in Jordan and LeBron conversations. Bey averages 15, 6, and 2 on 45% from the field, 0.1% lower, and I was cooked. But Saddiq is the most, I don't know the word, random player in the NBA. The dude the other day, he dropped 23 points in the first quarter versus the Knicks. Yes, the first quarter. He finished with 26 points. That's the full Saddiq Bey experience. But this is a dude who's stuck on a bad team. He could be an elite 6-man. He also could be a very elite filler starter. Whatever you need. But he fits perfectly here in level 3. And that would bring us to level 4, above average starters who aren't all-stars, or at least all-stars yet. And I feel like the guy who perfectly fits this level, Amen Thompson. Thompson is a way above average starter. He's not going to make the all-star team this year, and he very well could in a couple of years, but he's elite defensively, averages 19, 8, and 5 on 51% from the field. He's like a small forward who starts at point guard. The guy's elite on defense, but just a little inconsistent when it comes to scoring the ball. 24, 31, 23 in these, and then 13 and 14 in the next 2. But he's still averaging 19 points per game for the season, so he's clearly an above average starter in the NBA, especially when he's elite in half the game. But after him, we can talk about someone else who's also an elite defender, OG Anunoby. Yes, the Knicks have been absolutely awful lately, like the worst team in the history of basketball, but OG's been pretty solid. For the season, he's averaging 16, 6, and 2 on 45% from the field. But the thing about OG, actually a few things about OG. One, this guy does not pass the ball, 100% doesn't. But 2, even if his scoring is down a bit, you always know what you're going to get with OG on the defensive end. He can guard Joel Embiid or he can guard Anthony Edwards. It doesn't matter. But someone put the question out, how good is OG Anunoby? I found the perfect answer. I would place him somewhere between Yinka Dare and LeBron James. It's actually the greatest answer I ever heard, because I also happen to fall somewhere in this space, and I think you do too. Anyways, another guy who falls in this level, Cooper Flagg. Granted, Cooper Flagg will probably be in like level 7 by next season, but it's not next season, and he's not. In his rookie season, Flagg's averaging 19, 6, and 2 on 48% from the field. He's not going to make the All-Star team in his rookie season, but he's a high-level NBA starter. Yes, the Mavs only ended up with Cooper Flagg because the NBA is rigged and they wanted Luka in LA. Sure, we'll give the most popular team in the NBA the best player for an injured 30-year-old. surely this is not to boost ratings. And surely we're not only giving you the first pick because it was part of our deal. We ain't dumb, Adam. But really, what the hell are we going to do? We're still sitting here watching. But in my opinion, if I were to say how good Cooper Flagg has been in his rookie season, I would say somewhere between Yinka Dare and LeBron James. But right after Cooper Flagg, I want to talk about Derek White. Because Derek White is honestly just the most high-level starter in high-level starter history. This year, he's averaging 18, 5, and 5 on 40% from the field. Yes, the percent is questionable, but Derek White comes to play like 97% of the time. So yeah, Derek White has been huge for the Celtics this season. Celtic fans wouldn't trade him if their own mother's lives depended on it, and that's why he's in this level. But after him, we could talk about Michael Porter Jr. Now, I don't think MPJ is going to make the All-Star game, but that's not his fault. It's just because the Nets are ass. But MPJ has been balling out this year. The guy's averaging 26, 8, and 3 on great efficiency. Remember when he was in high school, they were calling him the next KD? That's the guy he's playing like this season. Granted, they were calling Kevon Looney the next KD when he was in high school. Is Kevon Looney the next Kevin Durant? Yes, the answer is yes. But yeah, MPJ is an elite scorer of the basketball, but he's arguably on the worst team in the NBA. So is he better than these guys? Is he worse? I don't know. But he's for sure a high-level starter. And the same could be said about Trey Murphy. I feel like every time I check the scores, Trey Murphy got 40 points. Maybe I checked the scores one time and he had 40, but that's still every time. But Murphy's balling out, 22, 6, and 4 on 50% from the field. It's kind of crazy that the Grizzlies drafted him, then traded him. Imagine the Grizzlies with Trey Murphy. Literally nothing will be different, but imagine it. But Trey Murphy has gotten better every single season of his career so far. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes the All-Star team sometime in his career. But for now, he's in the category of high-level starter. But that brings us to level 5 All-Stars. Guys who aren't top-tier superstars, but they're All-Stars. Probably somewhere from like 15-ish to 30-ish best players in the league. And let's start that off with James Harden. It's kind of impressive that James Harden's still in this category. The guy's like 458 years old. But Harden is still elite somehow. He's averaging 26, 5, and 8. The Clippers literally do not lose basketball games anymore. Harden's just been elite this season. Honestly, if my favorite team doesn't win the championship, the Clippers are the team I want to see win it all. Seeing Harden finally win one would be so sick. Need it. But after him, we got to talk about Pascal Siakam. There was no way I was leaving Siakam out of this video, just out of respect for Siakam, because I kind of feel bad for the guy. The guy went to the finals last year. Now his running mate gets hurt, and he's on the reincarnated 2012 Bobcats. But I'm saying I feel bad for Siakam. The guy's getting paid $50 trillion to hoop, and I'm here making a video on Siakam. So do I really feel bad? Not really. But Siakam is elite this season. There's no way I couldn't include him. 24, 7, and 4 on 48% from the field. Who is actually better in your opinion though? Pascal Siakam, the spin merchant, the fake all-star. He can't shoot, can't pass, he's a playoff choker. Or Peter Stojakovic, the crafty fringe superstar, the mid-range maestro, the incredible playmaker. He's a proven champ. Who do you guys think is better? Genuinely, I don't know the answer. But after him, we could talk about Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes is actually having a really underrated season. 20, 8, and 6 on 50% from the field. I feel like he'll probably sneak into the All-Star game this season. I don't know if Barnes is a first option on a championship team. He's probably a second option, but he's elite, no doubt. I feel like you genuinely never know what you're getting with Scotty Barnes. 17 points one night, 31 the next, then 15, then 26. Same with assist, 0, then 8, then 3, then 13. But the rebounds, you're either getting 7 or 4. No questions asked. Don't even try and get 6. It gets spooky. But even looking at this, his bad games, they're still good games. And his good games, they're great games. So yeah, Scotty Barnes, just a really good player. And the same could be said about Larry Markkanen. Larry Markkanen isn't talked about much because he's stuck in the mountains of Utah, and he's just been there for like 20 years now. But look at the dude's numbers: 27, 8, and 2 on good efficiency. He scores the ball at will. This guy needs to go to a contender. We need it. And by we, I mean Larry. Get this guy in a contender. He's too good to be on the Jazz. But then I want to talk about De'Aaron Fox. Remember a couple years ago when Fox was lighting the beam? Now he's a starting point guard on a championship contender. Good character development. But I feel like Fox goes pretty under the radar just because how good the Spurs are. Averages 21, 4, and 6 on 47% from the field. But can we just look at this for a quick second? How insanely stacked this roster was. I always think this, but no one ever mentions this team. Monk, Fox, Bam, Isaiah Briscoe, Wenyen and Gabriel, Michael Mulder, Isaac Humphries. Wenyen and Gabriel is an actual Lakers legend. But for De'Aaron Fox, I feel like people don't mention him because it's Wemby's team, and that basically is what happens. So yeah, I'll give my respect. But lastly in this category, someone else I want to give my respect to, Julius Randle. This season, Randle's averaging 23, 7, and 6 on amazing efficiency. Right now in the Julius Randle cycle, we're at a good stretch of games. We're almost that greatest player of all time, but that just means we're not too far till it's over. But I trust Randle, great player, has been great for a while now. The Wolves are 27 and 16. They're not asking Randle to be the first option, obviously, because they got Edwards. And honestly, when 2 Chainz shouts you out in a song, you gotta be somewhat good. But anyways, that brings us to level 6 superstars. NBA players who are superstars, but not part of the NBA's core 4 players, although they're right outside that tier. And first up, that tier starts with Wemby. He's probably the first guy outside the last level if we're being honest. Wemby averages 25, 11, and 3 on 52% from the field. He's in his 3rd year, and the thing is, these numbers don't even show that he's probably the best defender in the NBA. But yeah, Wemby's become an actual cheat code over the last year or two. He should have like 3 depoys at this point, but he's got none. I know I make a lot of jokes through these videos, but if there's one guy in the NBA who currently has the actual chance to become one of the GOATs, it's Victor Wembanyama. The NBA's never seen someone this tall that can shoot the ball like he does or handle it. I was just thinking the other day too, when the draft lottery was happening with Wemby, how do we not all put all our money on the Spurs to win? Obviously they were going to give the Spurs to Wemby. It was the Pistons, Rockets, Spurs, Hornets, and Blazers. Come on, man. Where do you think they're going to put the all-time great big man prodigy? We're idiots for not betting that. But after Wemby, we could talk about LeBron James, and it really is crazy how good LeBron still is. When he came back from his sciatica thing earlier this season, it looked brutal, man. Looked like the end. But at this point, he's averaging 23, 6, and 7, shooting 51% from the field. That's what I expect from old man LeBron. Low 20 scoring, high assist, and that's what he's doing. You still watch him play, and he still makes the right play like every time almost. I mean, you understand how great you gotta be? Really, to have a whole page dedicated to hating on you? Plus, what the hell? Insane Drew Timmy Stray. Anyways, after him, another old man who's still great, Steph Curry. Steph Curry's still somehow averaging 28, 4, and 5. Insane, 28. But anyways, if you were curious what Curry looked like in his first 2K versus most recent, here you go. But Steph Curry, I think it probably will not happen. But I'd love to see Steph Curry win one more championship before he retires. But it's not going to happen because the Warriors are the textbook definition of mid. But shout out to Steph Curry, maybe the most entertaining player of all time to watch. But after him, we got to get a little younger, and we got Anthony Edwards. And at the time of filming this, Anthony Edwards just dropped 55 last night in a game versus Wemby, and the dude lost. But that game, he was insanely efficient too. 57% from the field and 56 from 3. And honestly, Edwards has been insanely efficient the whole season. He's averaging 35 and 4 on 50% from the field. And no matter what, you always see the comparisons. Anthony Edwards, Michael Jordan. Now, yes, it is crazy to compare him this early in his career, but Edwards has gotten significantly better each year. Efficiency was the only thing holding him back. Now he's shooting over 50%, and you always see this picture, the half MJ face, half Edwards face. So yeah, but then again, you always see the picture with half MJ, half Alec Burks, but Alec Burks might be the better player here either way. But after Anthony Edwards, we can do Jalen Brunson. Brunson's another guy who took another step this season. 28, 3, and 6 on 48% from the field. The Knicks suck right now. I know I said for the Deuce McBride part that the Knicks suck, and they do, but that doesn't mean Jalen Brunson has sucked. Brunson was third in the MVP race for a bit, then the Knicks decided to lose every game possible. But just know, when Jalen Brunson has a bad game, get ready to see this guy on your timeline. But then we got another elite East point guard, Cade Cunningham. Cade has taken the Pistons to another level this season. They're the best team in the East by like a lot. Cade is averaging 26, 6, and 10. Although 2 months ago he had the 7th most shots taken in an NBA game ever, 45, and he made 14 of them. Crazy. But you know what? Shout out to Cade for earning that green light. And there's a lot more players that fit in this level, but I don't want to make this video 1,000 hours long. So some names we'll give shout outs to: Kawhi, KD, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Courtney Lee, Jaylen Brown. Just some names we gotta show respect to. But now, we gotta move on to level 7, the NBA's core 4. You know what 4 players these are gonna be. First off, Nikola Jokic. Probably the guy most people would say is the best player in the NBA. Was averaging 30, 12, and 11 before he got hurt, and was doing it while shooting 61% from the field. The guy was gonna win his 4th MVP, probably, but he's not eligible anymore because he missed a bunch of games. But if he can come back, the Nuggets are very well in contention to win it all. But after him, we got the other guy who's in contention to win MVP, and honestly, it's going to be the guy who wins it, giving him like a 93% chance for my professional estimate, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Granted, he might be the worst half of the cousin duo, but it might be the greatest cousin duo ever. SGA is averaging 32, 4, and 6 on 55% from the field. 55. That's actually crazy. SGA won MVP last year. He also won Finals MVP. One of the best years of basketball for anyone ever. And honestly, SGA is climbing the all-time ranks really fast. And no one ever really talks about that. Maybe because he's Canadian and people don't care about Canadians for some reason. Except Drake. Shout out to him for releasing this song. But next up in this level, we're going to go Luka Doncic. Luka this season, 34, 8, and 9. Yeah, and we're halfway through the season. This got to be top, I don't know, 25 is my guess. Statistical season of all time. I saw this though, actually had me laughing out loud. But nah, Luka's been great, offensively at least. He's always going to get bashed for his defense. But when you're that good offensively, what are you going to say? He made a finals. He's a ring away from the all-time greats. But lastly in the core 4, of course, Giannis. This is a current Milwaukee Buck. He might not be a Buck by the time this is posted though. Giannis is currently averaging 29, 10, and 6 while shooting 66% from the field. I feel like Giannis is almost underrated at this point because we just forget about how good he is because how bad the Bucks are. I mean, if you really wanted to, you can probably make a case that Giannis is the best player in the world right now. And yeah, a lot of people think Giannis is going to go to the Knicks. But Giannis, do what the fans want to see and request trades to the Pelicans and the Kings. Give the people what they want. And if you guys enjoyed this, I would genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. It's the only thing that truly tells me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you guys for watching.